Greetings, guys. Thank you for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast, where we talk all about them Pittsburgh Pirates and that. My name is Josh. Today is September 9th. You know, for a Monday, yesterday was a pretty nice day overall. Sun shining, cool breeze. One of those hoodie and shorts kind of days, you know what I mean? With 18 games left, the sun is setting on the 2025 season, and, well, the season hasn't been all that nice for the Pirates. Good morning.
Yeah, it is a good morning there, little man.
And good afternoon and evening to whoever's listening. Then the Pirates lost their 80th game on Sunday. Listen, we've been upset at the back-to-back 70-win seasons in 23 and 24. At this point, they will need to go 12-6 in the final 18 games to get back to just 76 wins. Not that 76 is the goal, right? It's a lost season either way. But it kind of tells you how deep of a hole they've dug. And listen, going 12-6 would make Don Kelly's record, I think, 64-59. If I'm doing that right. So listen, I've said it 1,000 times. This team wasn't built to be any better than a 500 team. So for DK to end up around 500 is about all you can expect. But going 64-59, that's 5 games over, which is close, but also kind of backs against the wall there. I'm not sure that that's achievable, really. Not in these 18 games. Not with the Cubs in the way of that. I mean, you got to imagine they lose 2 there. They've only got 4 others to lose. You're going to have to sweep 2 of these series. Like, obviously everything's possible, but it's probably not happening, right? If this isn't grounds for moving on from Ben Cherington, I'm not sure where we go from here. The 76-win season in 23 was fine, right? It was fine. It was part of the rebuild. We understood that. But then it should have been closer to 524, and it wasn't. And I know that, like, you're only talking about a swing of 6 games, right? To be, or really 5 games to be at 500. But in order to make the next swing, you're talking about making like a 10-game swing. That's doable when you lose 100 games. You can make a 10-game swing. But once you start getting to this area, like, it's not that easy to swing that big of a difference. And so you needed to be close to 500 in order to come into this year and say, now we're competing for 85, 86 wins, which would have you in the mix right now. And that's where they should be. Instead, 24 was another 76-86, 84 season. So that means that now this year should be, if you're just going, you know, if you want to leapfrog a year, yes, it can happen, but chances are slim. So now this year, we expected, if the rebuild was going to continue to go, you would be around 500 this year. What does that do? You've taken a step back at this point. How does that make you feel about a rebuild? How does that make you feel that things are actually progressing in the effort to be a competitive team and make a run at the postseason? Not very good, right? Back-to-back failed seasons. And considering 24 and 25 now, back-to-back failed seasons by this organization. And it's time to move on. From Ben Cherington, from his plan. The problem with that is, obviously, and then maybe this is a discussion for another day, but when another GM comes in, what happens? How does that, does he blow it up and rebuild? We don't want that. There is enough to like here. As a matter of fact, even on the offensive side right now, in the minor leagues, we're seeing some guys who are playing pretty well. So there is some good things. Certainly pitching, right? I've been clear about that. Certainly pitching. There are some good things in this organization going on. But the reality is that it's not going on at the major league level. And that's why it needs to go. Because in the end, you can have the prospects, you can have good things going on throughout your minor league system. But if it doesn't pay dividends in a timely manner like last year, this year, it's not working. How do you graduate guys up? Sure, it might just be taking longer, but it can't. All right, now, if I'm being a realist, I just made my thoughts clear, but if I'm being a realist, I do see a path where Sherrington keeps his job.
Dang it, Bobby.
I see a path where they could make that kind of a choice.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
So this isn't the first time I've said this. 2027 is likely a lost season. I think there's a chance that Nutting considers this and gives Sherrington one more chance.
Dang it, Bobby.
And for clarity, that should have ended after the 2024 season, and you wouldn't be in this situation. But we're here. Sherrington may have a chance this offseason to be crazy aggressive, take some serious risks, and make this happen. It's going to be hard to go from, I don't know, say 72 wins to 85, 72, 73, 74 wins to 85. How is that? Yeah, we can't. My numbers are off from another show. 72, around about 72 wins, to 85 to 86 wins. Like that's a really tough one, right? Pushing for the postseason, all that stuff. But that's what he's going to be tasked with, because you essentially have one more year, and then there's a fully lost year where that would be a good time to reassess things and to take a look at what things look like, to see if the landscape changes afterwards. The question will be whether or not he's willing or will be allowed to be that aggressive. Can this front office take these risks? What will it look like if they do? We know they're not going to be in the market for guys like Kyle Tucker. We know that that's just not in the cards for this team. Besides, that's actually less of a risk compared to what I'm saying, other than the risk of losing money. But they're likely going to have to take a risk on a player with high upside, low floor kind of a thing. Someone who may have injury history like a Luis Robert. The dude is made of glass, but if it works, they'll look like geniuses. Right? You see what I'm saying? Like those types of risks, it's going to have to be, it's got to be better than what they've done. But the risk has been one of the things that this front office has avoided for a long time. And into the last front office, because it's Nutting really that doesn't seem to like to take risk either. This stuff is nothing new, right? We've been saying this for a while now. Us on this show, other podcasts that you listen to, fans in general, you've said this likely. But the reason we keep repeating it is because we're all frustrated with it. And when we're looking at the record and adding in the frustration that the Pirates actually took a step backward in the major leagues this year, then it's kind of time to rant about it, right? I think that's just the way it goes. Deep breath. The Pirates are in the birthplace of Babe Ruth this week. They'll be sending Mike Burrows to the mound tonight to start. On the other side of the diamond will be Kyle Bradish. He was activated from the 60-day IL at the end of August. He started 2 games so far for the Orioles, and just injured after 8 starts last year. Had a 2.75 ERA in those 8 starts, though. So far in his 2 starts, and like I said, 2 starts, 3.60 ERA, but 15 strikeouts and I think 10 innings. So, the Orioles like Bradish. In 2023, 30 starts, had a 2.83 ERA, something to build off of. He gets injured, And then it's really been a rough go for the Orioles here. And I would think that this is probably part of it, right? Pitching has been a thing that they've been needing, and he's a guy that should be supplying that. Like I said, this is a dude they have high hopes for. Part of a winning team in Baltimore. I don't know how they turned this thing around. It seemed like they had all the bats, yet they're not hitting. Sometimes that's just a bad year, and you can turn that thing around and kind of stick with a lot of what you have and keep pushing forward. They certainly have the pieces as far as talent goes. But I don't expect the Pirates to be banging down the door in this one against Bradish. He's a very good pitcher. Certainly not after that performance against Milwaukee this weekend. I just don't see that. They'll need Mike Burrows and his piggyback partner. I you know what? I haven't even looked. I would imagine maybe Ashcraft getting a chance to start alongside or to pitch alongside him. I think that's basically how they've been going. But either way, they're going to need them to limit damage in this one. We'll see. We'll see. Any game can be won. One of these days, I'd like to get down to Baltimore for a game. I don't know leave in the comments if you're on YouTube, leave it in the comments if you've ever been to Baltimore and what you thought of it. Maybe it won't even be a Pirates game as I look at it. They won't be there next year. I'm not getting a chance to go this year, but how long am I willing to wait? So I'd love to hit up the Babe Ruth Museum down there, go to Camden Yards for a ball game. I think it'd be fantastic. That's one of those places. That and Fenway Park, I just think are those places that's like, okay, these are on my list. I got to go. I got to find a time to go there. 18 games left. Don Kelly is 1 game under 500. They need to go 12-6, not to take a step back. Back at it tomorrow, guys. I sure do appreciate you for listening to this show. Have a great day, and don't let perfect be the enemy of good today. Let's go, Bucks.
Thanks for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Subscribing to your platform of choice is the best way to be notified for new episodes. And now, new episodes every weekday. Remember, live shows with my dad and Uncle Jake are Sundays at 9 p.m. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and join them in the live chat every Sunday. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bridge2 Buctober. Clear the deck, cannonball coming, and let's go Bucks.
Dang it, Bobby.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.